Welcome to the A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal podcast, where each week I, Dr. Mal, share life lessons and motivation to kickstart your Monday. Whether you're starting your day or winding down, join me or me and my future guest for a burst of positivity and a fresh perspective. Let's make Mondays meaningful together. Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. This week, am returning to my solo format. And so I'm excited to share with you my everlasting gratitude and what I'm specifically grateful for. So for this week, I just want to send a shout out to all of my guests that I've had on my podcast. I am so grateful that I decided to open up my podcast to guests, and I'm grateful that they have shared their hearts. They've shared their business and they've shared their expertise with me and you. I'm learning so much from them, and I can't wait for you all to hear. If you haven't heard my guest podcasts from before, please go check them out because I know you're going to learn something. And I am so excited about the guests that I have lined up for the month of January, because in the month of December, I'm carrying through with my solo format. So in January, I'll have some new guests, and they are sure to be just as phenomenal as the guests that I've had on this show thus far. So I'm also sending out some gratitude to my little family that I share a house with every day. I get so much love from them, each one in their own special way, and we're just so comfortable and safe where we are. So I don't know that gratitude or being grateful is the proper word to capture my whole feelings about my family, because they are truly the best gifts I've ever received. And so endlessly grateful. I'm also grateful for friends and family in my close circle. I've had some emotionally tough times as of late that have been very heavy, but I'm thankful that in my old age, my pride has not gotten in the way of me being able to say I need emotional support. And this is an ongoing thing. I'm getting better and better at it every day. But I'm grateful for those who are still in my life and continue to stick by my side, and I'm able to talk to them whenever I am going through something emotional. I'm also grateful for the discernment that has allowed me to know whether I should continue a relationship with a person or not. And I've mentioned this in prior episodes, but this one is incredibly hard for me. But as I grow, I'm learning, and I'm grateful for the things that I'm learning. When people show you who they are, believe them. There's no truer words ever spoken, and it's something that we talk about a lot, but we don't actually make action in that space, because I don't know if you have this problem. Maybe it's just me. Ooh, pick me. I gaslight myself sometimes, because I will say, oh, they didn't mean it, or I make up a whole story about whatever I think might be the issue with them when it's exactly what they're showing you. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for, because I know that I'm the creator of my environment, and I'm grateful for the lessons that I learn while I'm having the enlightenment of people that no longer need to be a part of my life. So, and then lastly, I just want to share, I am so grateful for hugs. Recently, I received the most authentic and genuine hug I have ever received in my life. I know, how did I get to 40 and not receive like the best hug I've ever received in my life? But I did. And when I received it, I just melted into it and I cried. And the person was rubbed my back and let me know it was going to be okay. And it just felt so good to be held like that. And genuinely, because people give you hugs, but not always are they genuine. And it literally changed the course of my week by receiving that hug, and it changed my whole attitude about a couple of things that I had been thinking about this week that I just didn't have the best attitude about. So if you need a hug, don't be afraid to ask for one from me. I will try to reciprocate the authenticity that I received from the hug that I received. And for those of you who are just absolutely great huggers and people tell you that you just give the best hugs, thank you so much, because your hugs are much appreciated and they are healing to those who are receiving them. And I know even for me, I'm particular about people's smells. So if you smell good and you give good hugs, that is a bonus to me. Okay. So I'm going to get into the to what we're talking about this week. You know, I love me a good definition, and I'm hashtag team facts over feelings. So let's get into it. As we journey through this life, there are two powerful virtues that can help us to weather any storm: grace and gratitude. And by definition, grace is a noun used to mean approval, favor, and disposition to, or an act of instance of kindness, courtesy, and clemency. Grace is also the name of a few great ladies that I've known in my life. In fact, if I'm thinking about it, I have never met a mean Grace. Like students, like women in my life, I've never met a mean Grace. So, what a beautiful name to have. And gratitude, by definition, means the state of being grateful, which means appreciative of benefits received. Science and psychology have increasingly recognized the transformative effects of these virtues, finding that people who practice grace and gratitude tend to be more resilient, maintain healthier relationships, and experience greater life satisfaction. I don't know how those things can be measured, but by personal anecdote, but I will say that I can attest to that. Studies reveal that gratitude can even change brain chemistry, activating regions associated with pleasure and reward while reducing stress. Meanwhile, grace, often understood as showing kindness and compassion even when it's undeserved, fosters forgiveness, builds empathy, and strengthens community bonds. And that brings me to the topic of the week. Let grace and gratitude be your guide. So, how can we let grace and gratitude guide us in our everyday life? I'll start with grace because I will say I'm still a work in progress with this one. Grace can be described as unmerited favor, a gift given without expectation of anything in return. And practicing grace requires us to extend kindness not only to others, but also to ourselves. And when we embrace grace, we allow space for imperfection, understanding that everyone, including ourselves, is on a journey of growth. And to live with grace is to lead with empathy. This doesn't mean avoiding boundaries or ignoring wrongs. Rather, it means allowing compassion to guide our actions. So, by treating others and yourself with gentleness and offer others and yourself forgiveness, we can break cycles of resentment and foster healing relationships. Grace allows us to see past our mistakes and others' mistakes and focus on all of our humanity. It's also a reminder that even when we fall short, we are worthy of patience, understanding, and second chances. And shifting to gratitude, when we practice it, it shifts our perspective from lack to abundance, from what's missing to what's here. And by regularly acknowledging and appreciating the positives in your life, you train your mind to look for the joy, even while experiencing challenges. Gratitude is not about ignoring the struggle bus you may be riding on, ooh, pick me, but rather noticing and honoring the small gifts within each moment. So, choosing gratitude means choosing to appreciate the beauty and kindness all around us, even if it's as simple as a sunny day or a warm smile from a stranger. In doing so, we fill all our days with intentional positivity, creating a stronger foundation for mental and emotional wellness. And let me tell you, this is my personal testimony. Since November 28th, 2023, so last year, I'm almost into a year, I have made an intentional effort to give gratitude for my life experiences. And I've mentioned on many podcasts, I started with this. This is me writing down. Oh, if you're watching, I made another list from that, but I didn't put my gratitude list on the top, so I had to switch it a little bit. So, okay, here we go. This is the list of affirmations that I started writing 40 affirmations per day for 40 days. Actually, I went 50 something days. I forgot. I counted this one time, but it was 50. And it helped me to be grateful by me learning to appreciate myself and what I have to offer. So, all of these affirmations are actually about me. I am a goddess. I am a queen. I love my whole self. I'm in control of my emotions. I'm confident. I'm fit. I am healthy. These are all about me. And in learning to be grateful for me, it actually helped me to be grateful for the things that I'm experiencing in my life, whether it be good or challenging. And good is subjective. I hate the word good. I hate the word good because there's no measure of good. The measure of good is completely subjective to who's experiencing the good, right? I will say desirable situations and challenging situations. And I will tell you, I have had some amazing times over the last year, and I have had some extremely hard times over the last year. And I will just say that the hard times that I actually experienced were real, raw, incredibly uncomfortable, and if I'm being honest, they're actually ongoing. There's some things that I'm experiencing that are just kind of hanging in the atmosphere. They haven't moved yet. So even on those days where I've experienced hardships, it's been hard to be grateful. But I've actually had to force myself to find the gratitude, even if it's in, oh, look at my chest go up and down. I'm able to take a big breath. Or, man, I woke up and I was able to sleep safely and not worry about my safety as I slept. Like, those are just simple things that I found even in the midst of chaos, even in the midst of grief, even in the midst of anger and hurt, to be grateful for. Because sometimes we can't see the sunshine through the rain, but the sunshine's there. You think of a cloudy day, the sun's still there. It's just clouds that are in front of the sun. And so find a way. Find a way. Exhaust all options to be grateful. And then in my season era, I've also learned how to give myself grace, because as an educator, I found myself giving lots of grace to kids, but I was killing myself trying to be everything to everybody. And it was wild that I could extend so much grace to them, but struggled with giving myself grace. Practicing solitude and being by myself has really helped me to build that grace muscle for myself. It helped me to recognize that I'm a person too, and I deserve the same grace, if not more grace, that I give others. And personally, when I'm speaking about grace, I have been through a lot in my relationship, my romantic relationship with my partner. And I had to come to grips with how much of the situation was him and how much of the situation was me. And like, what did I contribute to that? I haven't always been there. I haven't always been the person to hold myself accountable in the space and reflect, like, what part of the action is ego and what part of the action is a lesson that I need to learn. And so, literally, just moving my ego out the way to be able to see the situation from a 30,000-foot view and then improve. Like, how, like, not improve, but maybe even recognize the lesson, and then how can I change the situation, or what energy can I contribute to the situation to make it better? I know I'm rambling, but when you're giving grace, grace is a little bit harder if You don't have that empathy piece. If you can't walk in their shoes, you can't hear what they're saying, and then you can't see yourself and you can't see how you contributed to the situation. But I should say, have you ever considered that grace and gratitude can work together? They can work in tandem, like the ebb and flow of water. Both virtues can form a powerful framework to live well. Leaning into grace and gratitude allows us to build a life centered on love, resilience, and inner peace. And remember, as grace lifts us up, gratitude brings us back to the present. So, together, they can offer a way to navigate life's journey with wisdom and warmth and help us to become more understanding, open hearted, and connected. So, my call to action to you today and every day is to simply let grace and gratitude be your guide. And here are a few ways to do that. First, like I said, you will experience a full life change if you could simply, before the rush of the day, find a quiet moment to reflect on things that you're grateful for. And start with one, start with two, start with three, and you'll find that there will be so much that you're grateful for that you'll be flooded with gratitude. And I actually started my gratitude practice by reflecting on what I'm grateful for myself, like me. Be grateful for yourself. Be grateful that you show up every day. Be grateful for the how you show up for others every day. Just find a way to be grateful. This mindset sets you up for positivity and it primes your mind for appreciation. And like I said, I'm a living testimony of the power of this practice. You will change your life. Second, you could practice self grace. Be kind to yourself and everything that you do. Remind yourself that growth takes time and that each day is an opportunity to try again. Like, there's nothing that needs to be said about that because, yeah, give yourself grace. And then extend that same grace to others. When someone disappoints you or falls short of your expectations, take a moment to understand their perspective. That's empathy, being able to walk in somebody else's shoes. Instead of judging, offer compassion and offer the same ear that you would want somebody to offer you if you had fallen short or you disappointed someone. Next, express gratitude to others and for others. I have an episode coming up to give your elders their flowers while they're here. Let people know that you appreciate them. A simple thank you or a heartfelt note can brighten someone's day and strengthen your connection. At the school that I used to work at, there was a teacher there. Actually, there at two schools that I worked at, there were two teachers who were pretty consistent with writing personalized notes. And let me tell you, every time I received a personalized note, I still have all the notes. That's how much they meant to me. And just someone taking the time to write out thank you or say that they were thankful that you did something for them, that just was really cool to have. And then lastly, reflect on grace and gratitude in your life. So take time to think about how grace and gratitude shapes your life and the lives of those around you. Acknowledge how these qualities have supported you through both smooth and rough paths, just like I acknowledge to you how they have helped me move through what I need to move through. And this was short and sweet. There's not a whole lot to say about being grateful and being gracious. Just do it. So I have a quote for you, like I always have. Grace and gratitude belong together like heaven and earth. Gratitude evokes grace like the voice and the echo. Gratitude follows grace as thunder follows lightning. And Karl Barth said that. That's beautiful. And then, of course, I have 10 affirmations to help on your gratitude journey and your great putting the gratitude and graciousness together. So, I am deeply grateful for every blessing, big and small, that shapes my life. Grace flows through my life effortlessly, filling me with peace and purpose. I choose to see beauty and abundance in every moment, in every experience. I love that one. Gratitude opens my heart to receive more joy, love, and fulfillment. I release the need for control and trust in the grace that guides me. Ooh, I love that one. I honor the grace within me that supports my healing and renewal. Yes. Each day, I attract more reasons to feel grateful and joyful. Absolutely. And lastly, I am blessed, grateful, and gracefully aligned with the flow of life. Say that again for the people in the back. Well, that's all for me this week. I'm forever honored that you tune in to my show, whether it's on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. I'm just grateful to be able to spend time with you and spend time with the ones that I love. As you spend time with the ones that you love, whether it be with your families, friends, or yourself, may you extend so much grace to them and yourself, as we have all been through a lot. This has been a trying time for all of us as a collective. And there's an astrological reason why. You should look it up. And may you continue to extend gratefulness to the present moment. Next month, I'm continuing my solo shows. And next week, I'm speaking about the power of giving back to your community. And I'm calling this episode Joyful Giving, Turning Gratitude into Action. So until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week. Thank you for tuning in for a Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Live Podcast Network website and app, and you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you love to have the visual, you can tune into my YouTube channel, When Mallory Lives, to see this show and catch up on all my shows from the beginning.